Okay. Well, Dr. Griffith, you've been at Fort Valley State almost exactly 1 year. How's that year been?
It's been an interesting year. It's been a fun year. It's been a year to create the basis for wonderful new things that will take Fort Valley from a place of greatness to a place of greater heights in the educational mountaintop.
So you're laying the groundwork for some new things?
Absolutely.
Honors program, for example?
Well, let me tell you what we've started and what we're going to be starting anew.
Okay.
We started an honors program. I'm delighted that Dr. Megan Fields, our founding director, will be launching the inaugural class of honors this coming fall, almost 60 students. We started an undergraduate research program that builds on pockets of undergraduate research that was already here. My intent is to make it a university-wide program. I was delighted that Dr. Sarwan Deer, one of our professors in the agriculture school, a leading researcher, leading mentor, is our director. And Dr. Andrew Lee, humanities professor in the College of Arts and Sciences, is our associate director. But quite important as well, part of the foundation for taking our university to higher and different places was some of the initial forays on the global agenda. We established a Global Initiatives Council that can help give us advice, help to do recruitment, help to raise funds. I have had a trip to Guyana and Trinidad. We've hosted delegations from Nigeria, delegation from Trinidad and Tobago. Our university needs to extend the educational enterprise beyond Georgia, beyond the United States. And that is part of the foundation we've been laying in the first year.
Why do you see the international shift as so important?
The international is not so much a shift as it is accentuating something that is what I call an imperative. Here are some realities that folks may not well enough appreciate. The world is flat. And the world is flat in a way in which the connectivity is in every place. And I said to the Regents when I took this job, I don't intend to let our Fort Valley students or Georgia students or Middle Georgia students be educated only to compete within Middle Georgia or Georgia. I want them to be able to compete wherever. And part of that competitive advantage of enabling them to get a quality education to compete wherever is helping them to understand the wherevers of Africa, the wherevers of Europe, the wherevers of Asia, the wherevers of Latin America. And so part of it is, how do we bring students from different countries? How do we take our students abroad? We had 3 students who are part of our undergraduate research program who went to Dubai during spring break. First time flying to the Middle East. They all came back not only transformed, but one came back, Brandon came back with a first place for his research and had an optimism about the value of being an American, had a renewed sense of being competitive. And so for me, it's an imperative because the changing dynamics of the globe suggests we're going to be doing ourselves in if we don't make ourselves competitive with the rest of the world. And so in many respects, what I'm doing at Fort Valley is playing catch up. Some of the leading institutions in Georgia have had a long-standing international presence. If you go to Georgia Tech, if you go to Georgia State, if you go to Kennesaw, if you go to the University of Georgia, Fort Valley needs to get into that game intentionally, robustly, on the instructional side, on the research side, on the cultural diplomacy side. And so the international is not just a desire, it's a necessity. And I'll tell you in a minute about something that you're going to be invited to and all the media are going to be invited to, and Labor Day weekend that has a global dimension to it.
Dr. Griffith, Woody Marshall? Or
My name's
Chief-
Woody
Good to
Marshall.
meet you,
I work
Woody
for the
Marshall.
Telegraph. I'm going to just take some pictures while you're
Surely,
talking.
surely.
How do you... I know in an earlier interview you had spoken about the need to improve in retention and graduation rates. What are you doing, or what have you done in that first year to start addressing that?
I'll mention three things. The honors program is both intended to do a better job at recruitment and a better job at retaining. One of the challenges our university has faced in the last few years is we took many students who did not qualify to be here. And their insufficient preparation meant that they couldn't sustain what was being offered. They were dropping out. We're not doing that anymore. We have a mission, but we also have a mission to take, to prepare, and to graduate. So one of the things I've done is change some of our optics on the recruitment, change some of our optics on the retention. One of the things that we've begun to do is change our advising system. We have a new arrangement for advising. But we also have an arrangement that says undergraduate research helps to make you excited about staying and graduating. And so for me, the undergraduate research program, although it doesn't say recruitment and retention, is about recruitment and retention. We also have got to candidly ask, what are we doing differently or not doing well on some of our service delivery? It's no consolation to say that other universities have inefficiencies. We have inefficiencies. And so I'm placing emphasis on service excellence. We've got some workshops we've conducted. We're revisiting our evaluation systems. We're establishing the importance of accountability. We're taking seriously not just what we do, but how we do it.
Tell me a little bit about what you mean by service excellence. Is this verifying that your grading system is clear and transparent and there's a good understanding that professors are available during
Basic
office hours?
things. Somebody calls you and leaves a message in a voicemail. I want that voicemail to be returned within 48 hours. Somebody sends you a fax or sends you an email with a document, whether it's for recruitment, verification. I want a response within a reasonable time. Somebody calls you on the phone. I want people to smile when they answer the phone. Some of those basic things. Someone comes on campus asking for help. Don't be sending the person around the university campus. Take the person, the family, to the appropriate office. Those basic things. Service excellence is everybody's business. If you're a professor, you have office hours. I want the professors to be there during office hours. If you're a professor, you have grades that you've awarded. I want the students to have those grades delivered to them in a reasonable time. And so service excellence is, I often say, pick Michael Jackson or Shakespeare. The Man in the Mirror, or The Fault, Dear Brutus, Lies Not in the Star. I want each of our faculty, each of our staff to be asking, what can I do differently to improve what I do? What I do in the classroom, what I do in admissions, what I do in marketing, what I do in the president's office. We've got to find an opportunity to take seriously continuous improvement. And the service we deliver to the students is important. The service we deliver to those potential parents and students and families, the service we deliver to the people coming to our games, important. I am not comfortable with just being good. We've got to be better at some of what we do.
I have a question.
Surely.
Could you speak about the recent rankings of diverse issues, the rankings of the university regarding the agricultural programs and also mathematics as far as like reducing the number of minorities within with, I guess, undergraduate baccalaureates within the nation?
Absolutely. Delighted to do that. Fort Valley State University will be approaching our 120th year. And for a good several decades, we have been making some stellar achievements, some of which, candidly, we've not been boasting about enough. And just this past week, earlier this week, as a matter of fact, Diverse, in its annual assessment, its rankings, put us number 6 in the nation in producing African Americans in the baccalaureate degrees in agricultural sciences. That's a significant. It put us number 16 for minorities, period, in the top 100 universities producing in the agricultural sciences. And one of the realities of our production of baccalaureates in the agricultural sciences is that many of those students go on to other great science areas. If you take a look at the graduates in the College of Agriculture, whether they did veterinary science or plant physiology or animal science, many of them go on to be veterinarians. Many of them go on to be dentists. Many of them go on to be medical doctors. Many of them go on to be research scientists. And so the value added is not only in producing baccalaureate degree in large numbers in the agricultural area, is where some of the investment of those graduates are in the medical field, in the veterinary science field. I'll give you one example, and it connects to the math and the science. We've got a wonderful program called Cooperative Development Energy Program, CDEP. It's a dual degree program. Students come and they do their first degree, either chemistry, mathematics, biology, computer science, in 3 years, a very rigorous program. And then they go for the second degree in engineering, mechanical, civil, chemical. The partnership institutions, I'll mention some of them. Georgia Tech is one of our partner schools. University of Las Vegas, Nevada is a partner school. University of Arkansas is a partner school. Penn State is a partner school. And a few weeks ago, I met a member of the class of 1999 who was a CDEP scholar. She was a chemistry major. She is now Dr. Crystal Connor. She went on to be a pharmacist. But she is part, and the reason I first learned of her is that she and her family had made the news, the national news, because Crystal Connor, a 36-year-old pharmacist, and her 39-year-old sister were profiled in a magazine because they were getting ready to take over their father's $28 million business. Sister's an engineer, she's a pharmacist. Did chemistry here, went on to pharmacy school. And so the value of the agriculture, the value of the STEM has not only value-added payoff in the agriculture field, there are multipliers beyond agriculture. So I'm very proud of that achievement. It is partly why I've promoted Dr. Isaac Crumbly, the founder of that CEDA program, into my cabinet. I want to find a way to replicate that wonderful model in other respects, and we'll be doing great things to take that to the next level.
It sounds like you're looking at partnerships both with graduate schools across the country and, of course, trying to bring in more of an international influence, get more of your students into the international arena and recruit more students from other nations.
When I delivered my inauguration speech on April 11, I talked about 3 imperatives. There is an innovation imperative. There is a partnership imperative. And there is a globalization imperative. It is that innovation imperative that allows us to see the necessity to revisit some of the degree programs that we offer. And so in the context of where we offer things, what the market, the community needs, there are some innovations we'll be doing. We're starting one this fall with a new E-Core degree program in organizational leadership. We're in the planning stages because of the needs in the community, and I heard it when I visited the base at the guest of General George. We'll be doing aviation. We'll be doing supply chain management. But partnership is an imperative. And so we've started conversations with partnership with Warner Robins. I've got a Warner Robins task force co-chaired by my chief legal officer, Mr. Charles Jones. The idea is, how can we partner with companies, civic organizations in Warner Robins to make better delivery of our Warner Robins campus? What might we do differently and better with online degree programs? What might we do differently and better with continuing education? I signed a memorandum of agreement with the mayor of Warner Robins on our criminal justice program. I've signed a memorandum of understanding with General Caldwell of Georgia Military College partnership. I'll be going next Tuesday to the Department of Corrections. I hosted the Corrections Commissioner of the state of Georgia. He had a wonderful time. He said, Mr. President, I want to partner with some of our officers taking your criminal justice degree program, some of our officers taking your agricultural science program. So I'll be taking a team of the provosts, the deans. We'll be talking partnership details next Tuesday. But we've also begun the conversation with Central Georgia Technical College about partnerships. We started a conversation with Albany Tech about partnerships. So the partnership part, whether it's with an institution of higher education, Georgia Military College, Institute of Higher Education, Central Georgia Tech, or the Corrections Department, partnerships are necessary. And the partnerships also are necessary on the global level. Let me mention one of the things I mentioned, I'll come back to a little earlier. We're going to be having on August the 30th to Saturday, our first international cultural festival and soccer exhibition. The idea is to do culture, showcase our university, bring people in. We already have two teams coming from Atlanta for the exhibition, soccer exhibition. I can give you the details of the teams later on. We plan to make it an event that is exhibition in the morning between 10 and 12, and then festival in the afternoon. We'll have Cuban groups. We'll have Bahamian music. We'll have Junkanoo dancing. We'll have vendors near and far saying, come and enjoy the valley. Come and see what Fort Valley is, but come and do some global connections. And part of the intent is to excite people about our university that they may not have known about. Did you know, for example, that we produce 4 different flavors of goat milk ice cream? Did you know, for example, that we have one of the world's leading small ruminant research center? Did you know, for example, that we produce goat milk soap? Who knew?
Are these things you knew before you took the job, or you've
These
been
things
learning
weren't
on
here.
the way?
These things weren't here before I took the job.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
But part of the point I'm making is that we have not been talking and showcasing enough who we are and what we do. So when I bring groups in, first order of business to get a campus tour. Wonderful facilities in veterinary science. I'm hosting the mayor of Milledgeville and members of his team next Wednesday. I've hosted the mayor of Warner Robinson City Council, Macon, mayor of Perry, mayor of Fort Valley. My intent is to let people in the valley and beyond the valley know what great research we've got here. Have you ever heard of the Polonia tree? The world's fastest growing tree. Researching it right here on campus. Have you ever heard of the Scutellaria plant? Anti-cancer properties research has shown. Part of our research right here on this campus showed that anti-cancer properties, but we have not been doing enough to talk about it. Do you know that we have the only safe zone for animals in Georgia? Early this week we had a story about saving almost 40 puppies who were destined to be euthanized. People need to know more about us, including people on the campus. So part of my mandate is that our faculty and staff need to go around the campus. I'm holding my cabinet meetings in different parts of the campus. And I'm saying, after the cabinet meeting, let's get a tour. Have you ever been over to the Small Ruminant Research Center if you're teaching education? No, Mr. President, let's go. Have you ever been to the Veterinary Science Facility if you're teaching in biology? Maybe, let's go. We need to discover ourselves, but my intent is to have the valley and beyond know about us. So, August 30, First International Festival. It's going to be just a $2 contribution. If you want to give more, it's up to you. Kids are free. It's a family fun day. And we're going to do the mass announcement, the advertising very soon.
Sounds good. No time is tight. Any guesses what may happen in your second year at Fort Valley?
I can tell what's going to happen in my second year. We're going to be planning our 120th anniversary. I already have 13 national co-chairs. Don't want to tell you their names as yet. We're going to be planning and launching a Center for Homeland and Global Food Security. Yeah. I'm meeting at his request in a couple of weeks Commissioner Black to talk about. I hosted a couple of months ago, Senator Stabenow from Michigan. Senator Stabenow is the chairman of the Senate Agriculture Committee. Our university is one of Georgia's 2 land-grant universities. We've got a lot of instruction, a lot of expertise, a lot of research. I intend for us to take that value, make it value-added in other ways. And so I'm in conversation with the International Livestock Development Research Institute in Kenya, bringing the director here, Mr. Jimmy Smith. When he heard about my proposal, he said, I want to be part of it. Food security is not only an American challenge, it's a global challenge. In the Americas overall, in Africa, in Asia. And as I told some faculty colleagues when I first brought the group of administrators and deans and faculty together last October, one person from education said, Mr. President, food security, why am I here? I said, food security is not just about agriculture. Part of it is about educating citizens about appropriate choices. And we've got to figure out what is the role of education in this. So I'll tell you later on about the food security center, but I'll tell you this now. It will be a way for us to bring all components of our university onto that platform. Because food security is not just about farming. There's a research component that has to do with chemistry and biology. There's a research component, an instruction component that has to do with marketing and media. It also has to do with education. So look out for Food Security Center at Fort Valley. Look out for aviation at Fort Valley. Look out for supply chain logistics at Fort Valley. And look out for the new pool. Did you know that we had a pool that was closed for 5 years? An Olympic-sized swimming pool? More importantly than that, the pool is now going to be renovated, open for business, and I said to my chief facilities officer, Dr. Dwayne Crew, I want a big pool party. Invite the community. We're back in the pool business. As a matter of fact, Miss Milton, why don't you send them the last Wildcat Dreams? There's a story on there with a picture. We're fixing the pool. I'm thankful for the $400,000 I got from the chancellor for it. That pool serves not only the wellness needs of our university, but it serves the wellness need of the community. So many high schools need a pool for their swimming meets. They'll be able to come back here and do what they weren't able to do for the last 5 years.
I don't know how much time you have.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Do you have any questions to Ms. Milton?
I was going to ask, is Dr. Mbada, who, George Mbada, the biologist, who's a Fulbright scholar and entomologist, is he going to be working with you on the food security?
Absolutely. George Mbada, one of the nation's leading entomologists, and Dwayne Daniels, George Mbada is chairman of our biology department. Dwayne Daniels is the chairman of our chemistry department. Went to give a wonderful 2 week of lectures in Nigeria. So before they left, I said, when you return, I want you to tell the campus, the students and the faculty about what you talked about in Nigeria. And I want to thank you for that question, because one of the things I've realized is that some of our own internal faculty and students don't know the valuable research expertise of our faculty. We need to be sharing it more. And so we're going to be doing what I started last year, fall. We're going to be having this fall our second celebration of Scholarship Day. Researchers who have published, we want to thank them, and we want to let the campus know about them. And I'm going to be having the same two conditions for all the faculty who are invited to showcase and be thanked. Bring 2 guests, one of whom must be a student. You should have been there to see the students celebrate knowing about the research expertise of their faculty last year. We have a video of it too. So we have the Mbadas of the world. We have the Daniels of the world. We have the Joshis of the world doing the plant research. We have the Dares of the world. We've got a lot of researchers, but we don't talk about them and promote them enough. So I gave a new assignment to Miss Berry Johnson. You know, I'm giving them a lot of assignments in marketing. I said, I want a new feature on our homepage. We started spotlighting at my request last August our alums. We need to begin spotlighting faculty and students on our homepage. I want the world to see who our distinguished faculty are. I want the world to see who our wonderful students are. We are beginning to spotlight our wonderful alums. This month, if you go to the homepage, you'll see the Corrections Commissioner for the state of Tennessee, an alum of this university. So we got to sell the world about the value of who we've produced, alums, but we've got to tell the world about the valuable faculty expertise we've got, students doing wonderful things that we've got. I'm letting the secrets out.
Um,
1 minute left.
Do I get 1 minute for a photo?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
no, if you need it, I mean, he'll give me an extra
30
minute.
seconds. 30 seconds.
When do you start your aviation and supply chain management classes?
We're in the planning stages for that. And I'm going to have another opportunity for you to get the appropriate announcements. We're in the planning stages internally within the department. We've got to go to the curriculum committee, and then we've got to go to the regents.
And that would be focused towards the base primarily, or
Not just the base. One of the things we learned when we were in the base is that supply chain management, the closest degree program, is 35 miles away. But we also know people who want to do online degrees. So we'll be doing conversations about both. But it's also true that we've got remarkable opportunities for port management given what's developing in Savannah. So it's not just for the base, it's for Georgians and others any place. But let's hold that for a special announcement later on.
Thank you.
Okay.